the first thing I want to say is this is not a political statement, but I couldn't find any elephants outstanding in the field. So, Chatham County is located really in the dead center of the state. We claim the geographic center. We are adjacent to Orange, Durham, and Wake County, and we have been one of the fastest growing counties in the state of North Carolina. So our residents have been remarkably consistent. We did a strategic plan in 1996, and in that plan, our residents said that they consider preservation of our rural character and our agriculture as the most important thing that the county can do. And that theme has been carried out in plans that we've done since through our 2013 Economic Development Strategic Land Use Plan that showed the same thing. Most recently, we're wrapping up our comprehensive plan that we're doing this year. We did an open-ended survey, and we asked our residents what their vision was for the county in 15 years. And in that open-ended question, number 1 was preservation of rural character, and number 4 was agriculture. So you can see those things are really important to the residents of our county. But the thing is, they don't mean the same thing. So to the residents in the Northeast, where we have lots of large lot subdivisions, what that means is beauty, sort of like this picture. They are attracted to the county because it looks beautiful, it looks agricultural, but they're not taking into consideration what real agriculture means, such as, you wake up one morning and you may be awakened by farm equipment or a rooster crowing, and that's real life in agriculture. Or you might smell a funny smell, and that's chicken manure that's been applied to the farm next to your subdivision. Or you might be stopped in your morning commute to Chapel Hill by a tractor on the road. So there are all those factors that are not always considered as part of agriculture. So I'd ask you, is this a picture of agriculture in the county? How many think yes? You think I'm trying to trick you, don't you? Well, I am tricking you because this is actually the entrance into one of our largest subdivisions, and they've done a really good job of kind of blending in with the rural and agricultural character of the county, but it is a large subdivision. Next slide.
That's Farrington Village.
So these are a couple of pictures of real agriculture in the county, and it's a less idyllic picture. So as I said earlier, we're one of the fastest growing counties in the state. Since 2000, our population has grown from about 50,000 to now over 70,000 in 2015. 90% of that development has been outside the towns and their ETJs. So it's mostly been in the northeastern part of the county, but it has been in the rural area. The county's also done some things that probably led to this. One is extending water out into the rural areas of the county. And while sometimes that serves agriculture production like chicken houses, not always. A lot of times it serves large lot subdivisions. And one of the challenges we faced recently with agriculture in our county is in 2011, our largest private employer, Townsend's Poultry Processing, closed. It laid off 1,000 people, and it also affected many growers in the county. Next. So we have had some past successes. Between 2007 and 2012, the number of farms in the county actually grew, as well as the acreage and farmland. More than a quarter of the county is in forestry or farmland, and 23% is in the tax deferment program land use. So for years, we've sort of been known as a sustainable and agricultural hotbed, and I really credit cooperative extension for much of the success we've had in maintaining agriculture in the county. And I'll highlight one of the programs that we do. In 2001, we locally funded a sustainable agriculture position. So the state doesn't provide any funds for that. The person who's now in that position, Debbie Roos, is really known nationally for her work, including her website, Growing Small Farms, that you see the link to up there. Debbie she does a lot of work with small farms and also with our local food council in promoting local foods, and she's also known for her pollinator conservation work. A second program in the county that was a partnership between Extension, the community college, and the Carolina Farm Stewardship was our sustainable agricultural program through Central Carolina Community College. And this program is unique. It teaches sustainable farming practices and also how to be a viable business. And one of the really cool things about it is it has a 5-acre land lab, or it's an organic farm that's on the campus of the college. So I think those kinds of things have really helped maintain both the viability of agriculture as well as the desire to see that succeed. The picture is of our junior chef program, which is also offered through Cooperative Extension. It teaches 8 to 13-year-olds not only how to cook, but they also tour farms in the county so they know where their food comes from. The picture is taken on the premises of Celebrity Dairy. And this is one of the examples of how farmers have been successful in our county. Farming is not always economically viable on its own, but perhaps combined with a small business that's located on the farm, then the farmer can stay on the land, farm, and also support his family. And this particular enterprise is a 300-acre working farm with a goat dairy that is also combined with an event venue. So they've been successful by having people come and stay in their bed and breakfast and have weddings and that kind of thing on their grounds. So one thing I'm really proud of is our Agriculture and Conference Center that opened in March of this year. It combines all of the agriculture support services of government under one roof into a one-stop shop for our farmers and foresters. So located in this building is Cooperative Extension, the Soil and Water Conservation District, NC Forestry, and the Farm Service Agency. So the farmer and the forester has one place to go. It also features an event venue where Cooperative Extension is able to provide its programs to a much larger audience. I will just put in a little plug for this. We will have a hotel opening in Pittsburgh in 2019, so consider this venue for your regional conferences. Next. So was there one slide? Okay, thanks. So as I said, we're currently working on our comprehensive land use plan. Part of that effort was going back and reviewing plans that we've done in the past, and our 2009 Farmland Protection Plan recommended mapping strategic agricultural lands. And so we actually did that as part of our 2017 comprehensive plan. We used several factors to determine what our prime agricultural lands were, including whether they're in present use, their proximity to voluntary agricultural districts, and soil quality, as well as other factors. So the factors were ranked using a survey that we did of the agricultural community. So you can see the green and darker green are the prime agricultural lands, and you can see those are mostly in the western part of the county. The subdivision or intense development has been in the northeast corner, which is adjacent to Research Triangle.
Is that on the web somewhere? That's a fascinating slide. I'd love to spend a little bit of time looking at it. Is that somewhere up there on your...
If you go to planchatham.com,
Okay.
then you can find it. I think it's an appendix. So the last thing I'll talk about is our challenge going forward. If we truly want to do what we say we want to do, which is preserve rural character and agriculture, is how we let the folks in the western part of the county where our prime agricultural lands remain viable, while we, are succumbing to the growth pressures of the triangle. So some of you may know that Chatham will be home to the largest mixed-use development in the state of North Carolina, Chatham Park, which has already started development. And in that vein, our land use plan has several recommendations that I think will help sustain agriculture. One is that we focus development in our towns. As I said, 90% of the development since 2000 has occurred outside the towns. So the county's got to make some investment working in partnership with our towns in infrastructure to make sure that development can occur there. The second is working through our economic development department to support the expansion of the agricultural supply chain. The third, and really the most important through the survey we did, was just continuing to emphasize how important agriculture is and what a value it is to our community. The next two things I'm going to talk about are just land use controls that I think will help agriculture remain viable. So one thing is, I talked about how our farmers are aging out. Well, one concern they have is, what am I going to be able to do with my land, once I'm ready to retire, if my kids aren't interested. So there has to be some way for farmers to do something with their land post-agriculture. I think this is a good example of that. This is an agricultural friendly subdivision on the right. On the left is our traditional large lot subdivision, but on the right you have a subdivision where there's smaller lots that are clustered together to give buffers to adjacent agricultural land, so that helps protect the residents from the effects of farming and the farmer from the effects of residents. And then also it features maybe a couple of what are called farmsteads, where there can be active agriculture within the subdivision. And then the last thing is just giving some flexibility to our farmers to have businesses on their property. That's how many of our farmers have been able to stay on the land. And what it recommends is that using performance criteria like buffering and setbacks and building size and lighting requirements allow business use by right in agricultural district, as long as those performance criteria are met. That's all I have.
Great. Do you have any questions? Yes.
You mentioned you got more farms in their large County, but you got more farms in the smaller. Attribute that to what do you think is happening there?
Our farms are smaller too. The average size didn't really change between 2007 and 2012, but the number of acres grew. But the average size is less than 100 acres, so we have a lot of small farms that are kind of catering to a particular niche. Anything else? Yes.
Your agri-center that you opened this year, it housed which offices?
Cooperative Extension, the Soil and Water Conservation District, Forestry, North Carolina Forestry, and the Farm Service Agency, which is a federal agency.
And what was the cost of that?
It was about $13 million
Can you say, how was that funded?
from the county. Yes.
You mentioned one of your problems was that the county has countywide water, or county in some areas. Have you been able to work with your municipalities on restricting extension of those waters and that sort of thing as road controls?
So that's one of the challenges I think that we will need to work on going forward. We have funded a couple of things in this year's budget that I think will help that. One is to do a water and sewer master plan with our municipalities, and another is we actually contributed some funds towards Siler City's wastewater treatment plant upgrade. So we're realizing that in order to drive development into the towns, we're going to have to make some financial investment in that.